Welcome back, chefs, to another episode of Make Good Food, Make Good Choices. Mrs. Pedretti here, taking you on a journey of herbs and spices. Here's what is so spectacular. Have any of you ever had buttered chicken? It's an Indian dish and phenomenal. Or maybe chicken cacciatore with more of an Italian flair, perhaps curry chicken over rice, or orange chicken, or chicken lo mein. All kinds of wonderful dishes. Now, substitute the word chicken for, maybe for vegetarian, you would do black beans if we were doing something more in a Moroccan or Mexican way, or consider cauliflower as the protein, or you could do beef and pork, all kinds of ways. What's the caveat? Herbs and spices. It's what makes the difference in the dish to make it magnificent. Now, I always say, you asked for it, you got it. And so many of you had requested quesadillas, and we're gonna get after that in just a little bit here. And we're gonna do chicken quesadilla, and we're also gonna do black bean vegetarian quesadilla. But I wanted to take you on a little bit of a journey through spices and herbs. What's the difference? What's the difference between them? So I was able to pick up at our local grocer these gorgeous fresh herbs. So I've got thyme, basil, I've had this for a long time, and fresh cilantro. We're gonna be using the cilantro today. And our herbs are the green leaves and stems. Now, you can also get them in a dried form, and that works too. I wish you could smell. Oh wait, I have an assignment for you. Guess what you're gonna be doing? You're gonna go into your spice drawer or cabinet, and I want you to open it up, look at it, and it might just have one name. So this one is thyme, and this is thyme. Both, one is ground, one is fresh. Now keep in mind, if your recipe ever calls for a fresh or dried, do what the recipe says. If you don't have it and you wanna make a quick substitution, please, please, please note, it would be one of these to three of these. This is potent. This dried is really potent. So if it said a teaspoon of thyme, and you would not, or 3 teaspoons of thyme, you could do 3 teaspoons of fresh, but only one. The dried is really potent. So be careful of that. And so however you want to do it that way, or you might find in your spice drawer that it says it's a blend. And so that means when you open it up and you give it a little smell, read the label. And this one actually has rosemary and oregano and some garlic, thyme, tarragon. This is like a chicken rub, so you could do all kind of things. So the difference really is, what is it spiced with and how much do you put on? So let's go ahead. I want to take a look at using, you guys might use this, a taco seasoning, and that's absolutely fine. They're about 79 cents to $1 at the grocery. I don't use them very often, partly because I don't have them on hand, and the other part is because I don't really like sometimes what it says on the back. Let me tell you why. First ingredient is yellow corn flour. I don't really want any yellow corn flour in my quesadilla, my fajita, or my taco. Gluten-free, right? So if you're gluten-free, that would not work. Salt is the next ingredient. Again, I'll have some salt, but that's not really the main ingredient that I want to have in my tacos. Maltodextrin, paprika, some spices, modified cornstarch, and sugar. Nope, not doing that. I don't really want the sugar. Well, again, personal preference. So if you quickly have some of these spices on hand, which you might, chili powder, 2 tablespoons of that. And then we're gonna put with that, I've got a 1/4 cup of oregano and a 1/4 cup of kosher salt in here. And then over here we've got 2 teaspoons of paprika. So you can see where you're getting this really pretty orange color. And then we've got a 1/4 of a teaspoon of both baking. No, wow, I just totally went to a whole new show. Sorry about that. A 1/4 of powdered onion and garlic. That was the word I was looking for. And then I put a little red pepper flake in there too. So putting these together, wait, I didn't say sugar, did I? No, I did not. Did I say maltodextrin? Nope, I did not. Any corn flour? No. I didn't say any of that. I just said regular spices and herbs, which is great. There's one missing ingredient. It is the key ingredient, and it is cumin. I love cumin. And if you go to your spice drawer, I want you to smell it and think, guacamole. Think when you get the bowl at school, does that smell like? One of the options that is in there. This is a very common spice. So I'm gonna go ahead, and it's 2 teaspoons of cumin. You can Google this recipe on allspice. But I go ahead and I'm gonna muddle these together with my little muddler. And if you wanna do fajitas, it's very similar. And basically, what we have here is what you would say to have here, but without some of the additives. So not saying that that's bad, just wanted to let you know that you probably could make this straight up out of your cabinetry. So let's get after it and do up a little bit of chicken. And I've got 2 chicken breasts here. Because we're doing quesadillas, we're gonna cut it small. I don't want them being so big that the cheese doesn't hold it together and they fall out, so I'm gonna dice them small. Depending on what your dish is, depends on the size. I have already washed my hands. My produce has been washed, and I have a clean cutting board, and I'm using my chef's knife. So we're gonna get after this, and just I should tell you really, if you happen to, this is fresh chicken, and if you happen to have the frozen bagged chicken, it is sometimes a little easier even. We use it a lot in class because it's less expensive, and you can cut some of the fat pieces off here, that you could cut partially frozen chicken. If some of you are like, I don't even like touching chicken. Well, we could do the black bean one for you. And that's okay. I don't mind it. It doesn't bother me. I cook for my family a lot. So I'm just gonna cut into this and make them smaller pieces, and we're good to go. There we go. So I would say, depending on the chicken breast and how many quesadillas you want to do, 1 chicken breast should give you 3 quesadillas. All right, we want to season this, and I'm going to put some oil in the pan and get it all seasoned for you. So back to the chicken. We have it in a medium high heat with about a tablespoon of olive oil, and it gets kind of loud, so I apologize for that. One thing to keep in mind, if I do that, it helps, is not to overcrowd any of your beef or chicken, mushrooms, any vegetables. So you don't want them to steam, you want them to brown and cook. So with that, I'm gonna keep after it, and we're gonna get this chicken nice and golden brown. One thing I do wanna make a quick mention is that if you are using a frozen chicken breast, you look at the package and it may say that there's a percentage of water or broth. Once you thaw that and you put it into your pan, you may notice that there will be water in addition to the oil that is in your pan. And so if that happens, you end up steaming your chicken and not getting a nice brown coating on that. And if it happens, that's okay. What I tend to do is turn it off. I will drain the water from it once it starts to come out of the meat, and then put it back on, and you will get that nice browning again. So that's just a quick tip. I'm gonna finish this up and be right back.
One question that I get a lot in lab is, Mrs. Pedretti, is this done yet? And you can tell by looking at the chicken how pink it is, and that would be a not finished piece. And so it's gonna need a little bit more time.
Chicken is completely done, and to be honest, I would not just for quesadillas go to the lengths and make a whole bunch of chicken. What I really would do in order to do quesadillas, I would use either leftover rotisserie chicken. We had leftover barbecued chicken last night. I would probably use some chicken breast, chicken thigh, whatever it is, dice that up, or maybe even take chicken breast and put it in my Instant Pot where it ends up being shredded chicken. We use a lot of it. We freeze it, and we'll have different, from different dishes, and be able to prepare it in a different spice and in a different way. So just to give you some ideas that if you have something that is left over in the refrigerator, go ahead, pull that out, and it's an easy way to prep a quesadilla. So just a thought on that. We're gonna spice this up because this is what makes the difference. I wish you could smell this. It is really magnificent. So I'm gonna add, I'm adding by the amount of chicken that I have. If you are using the packaged seasoning mix, then eyeball that, add in maybe a couple of tablespoons depending. I also have these beans, and this makes a lot. And I don't want to over spice, but I don't want to under spice either, because that's where the quesadilla flavor comes from. So we're gonna go ahead and coat these, let them set, and we can still even have some of that spice left over. You can put that in a Ziploc bag for later. So we're gonna take this chicken, the seasoned chicken, and start making our quesadilla. Now that our protein is ready, we need to go ahead and get some veggies in this quesadilla. So we're gonna do red pepper, some onion, and cheese, of course. One thing to note, I did wash the produce. That's really important. I like to look at the sticker, see where it's from. This is from product of Mexico. I know that this is not an organic pepper because the PLU number is, first of all, 4 digits and starts with the number 4. If this was organic, it would be a 5-digit number and start with the number 9. I don't know, that's just a random fact. See, that's something that you can put down in your lab plan for a random fact. You're welcome. Cutting a pepper. Many of you have seen it done different ways from home. You could always cut it in half and seed it. My favorite way to do is to go ahead and just cut straight down so that my seeds all stay where they need to in the core. And my garbage bowl over here. And then when you have your pepper, you do not, I repeat, because I've seen this in the classroom, all of a sudden I'm thinking, wow, that's a lot of seed in that fajita. You want to make sure that you clear out all the seeds. And again, if you're doing fajitas, you want slices. If you're doing quesadillas, you want to make sure that they are petite enough when you dice them. And I'm just layering them together because it just makes for quicker dicing. You want to dice them. You don't want them minced, but I think that looks great. So that's perfect for one quesadilla.